The reason they had to do that is because no one knows that Ellie's immune. And so I think you're on the right track there, Mo. It's kind of like Ellie needed to make that injury look like an injury, anything other than biting. Ellie's is a young woman around the town, and she's like, well, if I might get a little action later tonight, I got to get everything all groomed up just right for New Year's Eve. I mean, I can have a gnarly ass fucking tear on my stomach, but if it looks like a bite, let's just say that stalker's the only thing going to be eaten here tonight.
Yeah.
It's like,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
All right, welcome to another episode of Fitz and Friends, the Fitz and Mo bonus show, The Last of Us Part 2, talking about the brand new series on HBO of The Last of Us. Warning, we are going to spill all of the tea, we're going to give all the details, and ultimately, bro, if you need to know nothing about the show, what are you doing on the internet? So the first episode of the second season of The Last of Us is in the can. On a scale of 1 to 5 clickers, where do you rate it, Mo?
I am gonna put this at a 7 clickers out of 10 clickers. I felt
7
like
out of 10.
it was
7 out of
good.
10.
It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. It was good. It did what it needed to do. It established the setting, the characters. I was happy. I'm also happy I don't owe you $1.
Yeah, boy. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's just gonna talk trash about what's coming up. And for this episode of the new season, so closely tracked the game all the way down to the tutorials on how to use the sniper rifle with Tommy. That the episode started with Caitlin Danvers. I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. What's her name?
Caitlin Dever and as Abby.
Yeah.
Actually, this is where I started thinking, damn, I am going to owe him $1 because it started off with them. And I was like, no, don't show it yet.
See,
start getting nervous.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, ultimately, I was wrong, and I will give you $1 when we're back at the ranch. But the idea was there. They needed to set up the existential threat of Abby immediately, and it was not by mistake that they addressed the immediate lift of this season of the show with getting people to care about Abby. That they put her in the exact spot that Ellie and Joel had the most heartfelt moment from the first game. That was not by accident. And our new Abby, that she is not jacked, I didn't even think about it for a second after seeing her. It's such a different show. I thought that the reason that Abby was so muscular in the first game is because someone had been reading my dream book and they know what I like. But to drive home the fact that Abby in the game played so much like Joel. We spent a lot of this episode in Jackson, and I got to tell you, the currency they used was not what I was expecting.
You know what though? I mean, it's a different form of green, and honestly, I kind of liked it. I wasn't mad, and of course they did, because what else can you trade? You can't do mushrooms. Can't trade any of that.
Right.
Cocaine is gone.
Yeah. In playing the game, I'm like, you definitely got the impression that Jackson was a place where there was capitalism, but they're just like that. It's pot is amazing. So the show was fantastic. Actually, it was called Future Days, and so the tone of the episode to me was definitely building, like foreboding.
For me, I think the episode was more about like the evolution of how everything has come, because when you first come to Jackson, you see everybody just slowly building things, and now that we get to Jackson again, it is huge.
Yeah.
And not just that, you're seeing the evolution of the relationship of Joel and Ellie. You're seeing the evolution of Joel going to therapy, which therapy during a setting like that, I mean, talk about the most useful, but also it almost feels like a first world problem in a sense. And she kind of, Gail, who we also get introduced to, who is Catherine O'Hara, incredible. Loved her character. Can't wait to see more of her. I mean, she kind of addresses it. She's like, look, you're talking about the problem, but you're not saying how we got to this problem. And I think that's probably the most important thing that they need to establish. And she's going to get there. But even hearing the story that Joel killed Eugene,
Whoa.
which I'm assuming he had to have turned, because why else would he do it?
Dude, you're right. I mean, the Eugene character may be the Bill and Frank of this forthcoming season, and the Catherine O'Hara character, I really liked her because one of the things that's so great about the show is you do not have to have played the games, and you do not have to have watched the last season to understand what's going on. So the Catherine O'Hara character basically gets to the premise of what I think we're going to be seeing as the dramatic tension throughout the season is that Joel. I mean, for me, the breakout line was, "Did you hurt her?" That it
Mm,
was that's the basic tension between Ellie and Joel is that Ellie thinks that Joel hurt her when he lied to her about whether or not she could have been the cure for the cordyceps infection. And to see the Catherine O'Hara character just set that up so wonderfully as the that she's just having the guts that the Joel character does not have.
mm,
She's sitting across the way from the man who killed her husband and working with him
mm.
and addressing that huge issue in the room in a way that Joel just will not. I mean, it sets up Joel for a big win later in the season, I think. So yeah, for me, the standout performance was Catherine O'Hara. What was the
Mhm.
standout performance for you?
I gotta say, Dina, you know what?
Really?
You can immediately tell that she's lovable. She
Mm.
is someone that maybe I just related to her because I'm so lovable. Um, no, but I mean, she is outgoing. She doesn't really she respects authority, but she wants you to have like a reason, like she wants a reason to respect you.
Right.
And I just think she's just someone that just goes for what she wants. I mean, as we could tell in the New Year's Eve party, which you do see in the game, but not till way later as like a flashback, I believe, right?
Well, okay, so, like I said, the show is very much tracking the game, and so
Yeah.
the game starts off, and there's the sort of the the tutorial round where Ellie does a lot of the sort of the stealth mechanics by playing snowballs with the kids, and that scene there is it very early on in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and and sort of like the oh my God, there he is, Gustavo Santanella was in the first level
Mm.
of The Last of Us Part Two, and there he was on stage, and Gustavo is the guy with the beard and the braids, kind of playing with that band up there.
Yeah, he was in
He
the band. He was on the banjo, I think. He was
yeah, whatever
ripping
that
that
it
banjo.
looked like kind of like a little mandolin or like
Oh
a
yeah,
Portuguese
yeah,
guitar.
yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, I'm like, hey, that's that dude. He's the guy who wrote all the music, which in many ways, at least in my opinion, is another complete character in The Last of Us. So the beats of the episode was we set up the shark in the water with Abby's going to kill someone, and then Abby being so rueful, like, oh, he's good looking, he's this, he's that. Like Abby seems to know way more about Joel than her compatriots are going to go on the quest with her. They set
Mhm.
up the threat in the water. That's where I'm like, they're going to kill him just from the jump, but they set up that Joel is going to have something happen to him, and then they sort of like go through the dysfunctional relationships of The Last of Us. And I love the Catherine O'Hara character just going, oh. So your 19-year-old daughter's a dick to you? Okay, this is the most boring problem ever. And then burrows down hard on Joel. What did you do to her? Why she's
Mhm.
like this? And then the lurking threat, which actually now that I've seen the episode, Mo, I think it might be the big fight at the end. Oh, how this show treats cordyceps as another
I
character.
was gonna say the same
Oh my
thing.
God, it's so good with the cordyceps coming in through the pipes. And maybe the big set piece at the end of the season is a battle at Jackson, where Jackson falls, right?
Okay, they kind of hint at that though.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, clearly with the cordyceps, I forgot that it's all interconnected and it
Yes.
almost signals them to go to this place. But the cordyceps as a main character was rad. Also, like reaching out through the nose
Oh, of the
was
stalker.
interesting too. Yeah, because it's trying to latch on to another living organism. At first, when I saw them break open that pipeline,
Hmm.
I thought it was just roots that were just growing through there, and I was like, wait, no, there's no way that roots grow that way. That's totally cordyceps. Is it getting in the water? I mean,
Oh,
but I
whoa.
don't think it, I don't think that's how it spreads. It has to like physically latch onto you. And I think water is not going to bring it to because it kind of separates from the whole main course of it, if that makes sense.
Well,
Like
you
the
know, it,
root of it.
well, in the game, cordyceps can be spread through bites, also spores,
That's
which is,
right.
that's how Joel discovers in the game how Ellie's immune because she moves to the spores and then doesn't turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was discovered that or rather, she said she had been bitten and she was immune, and then when she walked through the spores, that's when Joel really was like, "Oh God, no, you really are immune."
Mm-hmm.
Like Tess was a true believer. Joel was not until they went through that section. The big like the first monster we got to see was a clicker. That
Mm-hmm.
was cool. Also, I gotta say, my rewind moment for the episode was when they showed the kid clicker next to the why is this going to be is there going to be a zombie like Game of Thrones? But the child clicker, I thought like, oh God, that's creepy. And then we actually saw the stalker in the grocery store that Ellie and Dina were investigating, and when it came out of its nose, I'm like, the cordyceps as a character, it seems as we saw in the council, which is a new invention for the television show, Ellie
Yeah.
saying that it seems smart, and I'm like, dude, maybe the cordyceps really is more than just like pheromone communication between animals. Maybe there is a higher intellect in there. What a great story that would be, right?
I agree. Also, going back to the grocery store,
Yeah,
the beats that they moved were so quick. I'm playing the game right now.
right.
And I just got to the movie theater. So
Mm,
I'm in it, but I didn't think that they were going to hit those notes so quickly. But my favorite part about the grocery store, besides the stalker and the evolution of that, was getting a bit of the gameplay, picking up the bottle, throwing it, distracting the clicker,
right.
then Ellie just going in and just jugging, like stabbing him right in the jugular. Like it was perfect. I loved it. I was like, okay, at least we got a little sample of the gameplay. Gosh, I'm such a fan service person. I really need it for some reason.
Oh, dude, the gameplay part, to see the gameplay parts in there are great. I'm really looking forward to when they spend 3 episodes at the crafting bench. Oh my God, that's going to be so goddamn good.
You know what? I want to see how legit she can
Ooh.
clean a freaking gun and
My God, I got a couple of scissor blades. I'm going to make a bomb.
oh god, don't say scissor. She's gonna get real excited.
Oh my God. I can tell you, you know what? The heat between those two women on the dance floor there, I'm like, oh, hello. They
You
were
know,
getting ready to go
but
at it. And here's the thing. I did a little bit of checking into it. With very little deviation, Dina's dialogue on the dance floor, word for word from the game.
yes. Oh, maybe they're frightened of you. When she said that, I was
Oh
like,
God.
oh, she said it. She said it. But can I tell you, they recreated that that emotion that you felt when you're playing the game and you're watching that cutscene. I
Yeah.
think they did a great job capturing it again, even though they kind of made it their own.
Hmm.
Man, that was nice. And then everything else played out the way that it needed to with the bar owner. I can't remember his name. Saying what he
Seth.
said,
Yeah.
and then Joel just going after him. God, I love this show and I love
I
this game so
I
much.
love that we're seeing a little bit more of the mechanics of Jackson beyond. So, who wants to do like the idea of everything is pot? Because you know what that basically means is that in the future, when there's zombies, uh, the currencies the currency is basically cryptocurrency because theoretically we can all mine our own coin,
Yeah,
and and
exactly.
so theoretically we could all grow our own pot. Um, I love that they explored the world a little bit more because those are some of the questions I had as a guy just playing the game. Like, how does the economy in Jackson work? Like, how many rabbit pelts do you need? Like, that they're
Mm,
like that it's just that it's pot because it could be pot, could be booze, could be food.
yeah.
So how, just if you had to conjecture, you know, Catherine O'Hara's character said, "You killed my husband. It's my birthday, dick." Uh, how do you think that whole thing's going to play out? Because we are going to see when Joel gets has to kill Eugene. What do you think that's going to look like?
I mean, it's gonna have to be Eugene getting bit. Well, there's that.
Mhm.
But as far as like, and Catherine, did she say that she saw him do it?
Which she said in the show was, you had to do it. I know you had to do it. I didn't like how you did it. Like maybe
Mm,
Joel shot him in the back, or I mean, there was something that she thought was basically unfair beyond Joel killed her husband, which
hmm.
which leads you to believe that maybe there was a condition where Joel could have killed her husband. She'd be like, oh well, day at the office. Um, but yeah, I mean, I got for me the breakout performance was her. I mean,
Hmm.
because first it's she's such a great actress, and the idea of therapy in The Last of Us, and that she just was so blow for blow with Pedro Pascal in that scene was just amazing. How raw she seemed and how vulnerable.
Hmm.
I thought she was the breakout performance for me. I know you were saying for you it was Dina. For me it was definitely her. Uh, what was your biggest like? Oh man, that's cool moment. What was the thing that you really like? Oh shit, that was great.
Man, that is a tough one. I mean, honestly, it was the stalker
Mm,
because I just was
yeah.
not expecting to see that. I thought when I see the grocery store, I immediately thought, oh, we're gonna get that gameplay where there's a whole bunch of a few different clickers around and some runners and whatnot. But just having one single stalker, and then you see it moving in the background behind her, like by the
Oh.
window. And I was like, what? I thought it was a cat. I was like, are we going to get a zombie cat? Zomcat?
Oh, dude. If they, I love cats, but if they did Zomcat and not Zombear, I'd be like, I'm right, dear HBO, you sons of bitches, you can't just put a bear on there. Oh, so good.
Can I tell you something interesting though?
Yeah.
The relationship between Ellie and Tommy
Hmm.
versus Ellie and Joel, but also the relationship between Dina and Joel too. She
Yes.
is so much more kinder to him.
Yes.
Obviously, she hasn't experienced life the way that Ellie's experienced life, or has she been lied to by him that we know of? But yeah, they seemed unusually close. Same thing with Tommy and Ellie.
Well, one of the things that like Dina seems very nice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she also Dina does not also know she's not privy to Ellie's belief. And
Mm-hmm.
and the big friction between Ellie and Joel is that Ellie feels like she didn't have a chance to choose, right? That people were making decisions about her. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and you think about the gameplay, that the idea that some doctors in a broke ass hospital in Denver are going to be able to cure the pandemic that's gobbled up the whole planet. They say they could have done it. I actually came away from the game thinking, how do those fucking guys know they're going to do it? They were just going to kill another girl. You
Yeah.
know, Ellie, it feels like in many ways Ellie is mourning a life she never had. Like she
Mm-hmm.
sees the potential for it, but it's Dina hasn't lived that. We don't know how Dina got to Jackson. We don't know what her backstory is, but she doesn't have the grudge against Joel that Ellie does. And so yeah,
Right.
she's way friendlier. But then again, if we think about looking forward into the future of The Last of Us Part Two, Dina's friendly with a lot of people.
This is true. I mean, we saw
She's
her on the dance floor. She was but you know what? She's just a girl that likes to have fun. You can't be mad at that. In a world of chaos and sadness and despair and depression, why can't you have a little fun and just, dance with a few people and make out with, anyone, I guess. Um, Potentially get pregnant by people, things like that.
yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this. Like Dina very much seems to have like a cocktail personality. Like she seems to like
Yeah.
whoever's right in front of her at that very moment.
Hmm.
You
But
know, I
no,
mean,
I
so like
mean, you could tell that she likes Ellie. I mean, even in the beginning when she's, getting all strapped up with her new like gun harness and everything, and they're making fun of her, she's
totally,
making fun of her,
totally.
getting close, wrapping it around her, just
Mm.
being in her personal space. Um, Look at you. You're already getting hot and bothered. We haven't even hit episode 2 yet.
You know what? And sometimes in like okay, so to talk about another HBO show where there was a lot of explicit sex and and
Mhm.
romance, uh, I didn't see like the chemistry between Bella Ramsey and the actress who played Dina.
Mhm.
It was
Isabella
real. I mean,
Merced. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, you could tell there was chemistry between those in a way that I never saw Kit Harington really have chemistry with some of the women he was cast against. Like,
Mm,
oh, sure, it was hot. Yeah, they okay, we get it, but it just never really seemed like there was a lot of heat. Those two ladies very much seemed like they were it was a great performance. They really seemed like interested in people in a way that seemed very real to me.
yeah.
As opposed to like, oh, now Kith, like, now Kith. It seemed real. And man, I gotta tell you, when Joel came in off the side and started kicking that guy's ass,
Dude.
uh, classic Joel moment. Also setting up the strife between Ellie and Joel. Like Ellie wants Joel to stop being dad and let her make her own choices,
Mhm.
and she's mad at him because she believes the world could be different because of her. Like it's setting up a lot of tension. The one thing that I just found myself while watching the episode, I just kept going back to Ellie is such a fucking dick. She's such a dick. Here's the thing, like we get it. She's not going to get along with her dad because, well, I could have been the savior, or I should have been able to pick, or whatever their interpersonal beef is. But I was just surprised with how just flippant she was with the lives of people on her team. Like Ellie knows she can be killed, like torn to bits,
Mhm.
but she also knows that a scratch or a bite, just like the one she got on her stomach, will kill these people. And that she is so just fucking reckless. Like Ellie acts like a character that knows they have plot armor. And
Mm.
I thought that was really just kind of like not living up to the people around her. And I thought that I loved the mechanics and my God, the stalker was great. I thought the knife flirting stuff was such bullshit because
The knife flirting?
when they were in the hallway, they were kind of like flirting with like who's going to go around the corner. They're doing
Oh
their
yeah,
hand
yeah,
signals.
yeah.
It's like that Ellie is so convinced that nothing could happen to her. She also thinks that nothing could happen to Dina
Mm,
and put Dina in a very, very dangerous spot because ultimately, if Dina had gone right and Ellie had gone left and Dina had fallen through the floor, Dina would have fucking died
yeah.
when the stalker bit her.
Oh,
And so that's to me speaks to the big lift of this season. Ellie needs to be someone that is questioned in her motivations and how she treats people and can do very terrible things.
hmm,
As we see Abby, who's being set up as the threat as the game progresses, the big narrative lift for the show is to make Ellie the villain because at the end, I believe she is the villain. So
yeah.
how do we make people care about Abby Anderson? Is we make Ellie seem arrogant, indifferent,
Hmm.
caustic, setting up Ellie's eventual the thing that she loses all because in the end of the game at least, Ellie looks at Dina, looks at their baby,
Hmm.
you know, and says, "You know what? No, I've got to go kill someone."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, how do you
Well,
get that? How do you go on that journey?
but
And
that's
it starts
revenge.
with what was
That's
that?
revenge. I mean, revenge
Right.
will eat at you, and you have to just complete, and you have to feed it.
Totally.
You have to
Yeah.
constantly feed it, and
Yeah.
that's why she's not going to stop. But even then, it's not going to solve any problems.
Right. Because the thing that Ellie and Joel needed to do was be like, "You're a giant fucking dick. You didn't let me choose."
Yeah,
There was no fucking way they could have done it. They needed to have that conversation, and they waited too late. And Ellie regrets it because the next day Joel's dead, and it just speaks sort of like as a human being. It's always important to make peace with our families because fuckers can die at any time.
yeah.
And that Ellie never really got to make peace with Joel is why I think that Ellie sacrifices everything.
What we need to talk about the bite though,
Mhm.
because in the game you never see her get bit again. There's only that one time that we see it, or we don't even see it. We just, hear about it, and then she covers it up with a chemical burn, and there's all that other stuff. Why do you think that they had to show her getting bit on this one? And then even the cutting, I don't know if she was cutting it out or scarring it differently so it doesn't look like a bite. Um, yeah, like why do you
I
think that they had to bring that up again?
because the reason they had to do that is because no one knows that Ellie's immune. And so I think you're on the right track there, Mo. It's kind of like Ellie needed to make that injury look like an injury, anything other than biting.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Ellie's is a young woman around the town, and she's like, "Well, if I might get a little action later tonight, I got to get everything all groomed up just right for New Year's Eve. I mean, I can have a gnarly ass fucking tear on my stomach, but if it looks like a bite, let's just
Mm-hmm.
say that stalker's the only thing going to be eaten here tonight.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
uh,
see
there
what you
you
did
go.
there. I see what you
Um,
did there.
what is it, it's all part of the pattern of deception and dishonesty
Mm.
that comes out of Ellie. She has to be arrogant. She has to be deceptive. She has to be indifferent. And Ellie, that she's mad at fucking Joel. She puts that whole team in danger because she's mad at Joel because the team lead says, you fucked up on the last thing. You have to stand on the wall. Nope. Also, I'm important because, like it or not, I'm Joel Miller's daughter, and you don't want to
Mm,
fuck with Joel. I mean, like there's an indifference to safety there. It's like I'm all, God, this woman's a dick. She's a dick.
yeah. But where do you think she learned it from? Joel. I mean, that's who she was traveling with for such a long time. He had dick
Yeah,
moments. She's
yeah,
seen him act a certain way with other people.
totally for sure.
So, you gain all of that. Especially because this is her father figure.
Yeah, this will probably come as no surprise to someone who is a lady American. It turns out that fathers and daughters can have complex relationships. And
Yeah. I don't know if
yeah,
you knew this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We
they
all
can they
got
can
daddy issues. You know
yeah,
what I
we
mean?
they can have complex relationships, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing this whole play out. So what was your gotta rewind it moment, gotta see it again moment?
You know what? It was Dina giving me a pun because
Oh,
I was trying.
so good.
I'm gonna butcher it because I got my puns ready, but I wanted to put hers in there as well because it was a good pun. I wasn't expecting
Oh,
that.
dude, when she busted that out, I'm like, God damn it, that woman is. They've set the bar so high. So
Mhm.
big breakthroughs in this episode. We've set up the shark is in the water with Abby is on her way to Jackson. There's now intelligent, it, seemingly intelligent.
Mhm.
Infected out there. Jackson is at threat because there's something inside of the wire. Joel and Ellie are having a complex relationship.
Mhm.
Dina seems like fun. There's a psychiatrist who gets paid in weed, and Gustavo Santinella was there. Jackson
It was the
seems like a
best.
place we'd want to go. It seems like a place. The sewer thing, not so much, but everything else seems to be particularly awesome. What are we going to see in the next episode? Do you think?
Episode 2. We see Abby meet up with Joel. She's probably not going to kill him maybe until episode 3 when she shoots him. I think in episode 2, it's going to end with her shooting him in the leg and knocking Tommy out. And then it cuts to the end of the episode.
My prediction is I feel like in the next episode we will definitely end up in the chalet for
Mm-hmm.
sure at by the end of the episode because Abby's strike team is already in position. I feel like we're definitely going to be meeting Abby's team and Joel and Abby are going to meet. That
Mm-hmm.
is definitely going to happen. It's like whether or not that comes to fruition, I'm not sure, but that's for sure. I also think we might get a little slice of Seattle, because
I don't
they need
know.
to set up.
Seattle seems like it might be not there yet. I
Well,
don't think it's
they
there yet.
mentioned it in the intro, like when Abby was talking to the members of her team, she goes, "Oh, the Seattle Fireflies might know some stuff," and then Abby's like, "This is all the things that they know."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess you and I we completely agree that definitely Abby and Joel are going to meet next episode,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they'll have that adversarial relationship. Visual hints for things we're going to be seeing in the future. Did you notice that when Ellie went to her music corner in her cool stoner garage, that everything was Seattle bands? There was Nirvana, there was Pearl Jam.
I
Yeah, the
did
posters around
not
her radio were all Seattle bands, sort of,
notice.
giving a little hint about things we're going to be
Mhm.
seeing later on in the series, that it was all Seattle bands.
It was cool to see one of the posters. It might be like a fake band, but every time I see the poster in the game, I think it's 21 Pilots, but it says 20 something.
Are you telling me that's not a 21 Pilots
It's
poster?
not. It was like
Okay.
something 20, or I don't know. Maybe it is a real band and I just didn't realize it, but it's the same exact poster as the one in the game.
Oh, whoa.
I can't remember this either. In this first season, do they do any type of nod or Easter egg of the collectible cards that she gets throughout the game?
There has been those superhero cards. It's kind
Yeah,
of like
those
Magic the
superhero cards.
Gatherings. Yeah, there hasn't been any of that kind of stuff yet.
Mhm.
Although I did notice that on Tommy's son, he was wearing a dinosaur top, which could have been anything. Also, one of the big moments of the game is when Joel and Ellie go to the dinosaur museum.
I know.
Yeah, it
Also,
was.
am I missing this? Uh, Tommy and Maria, they had a kid, but we never meet the kid, and all of a sudden this kid's in it. That was a huge surprise.
Yeah, I don't remember meeting Tommy's children in the game at all. I mean, I know that they were married and
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't remember meeting Tommy's kids. Uh, yeah, so it was the sort of the moment that visually just was arresting to me when I'm like, oh shit, the world is serious. The blood on the snow when the patrol
Mm,
was out, I'm like, oh shit, blood on the snow. And then Ellie's like, oh, rules to keep everybody safe? Fuck it. I'm fine. I'm like, you dick. You dick.
grocery store.
Yeah,
And they
let's just go.
clearly
Come
hear,
on, this
they
will be
hear the
fine.
clicker. They
Yeah.
know it. Oh my God.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
First monster we saw was a clicker. Then we got to see the stalker, no zombear, which is some bullshit. And they definitely sort of set the stage for what we're going to be seeing in this upcoming season. So I think we're coming up to the end of the show here.
Mhm.
Mo, let's get to the real star of this. It's now time for Mo puns.
Before we do that, you didn't tell me your rating on this series or on this episode.
I also am going to go 7 out of 10 clickers with you on that.
Okay, cool.
It's like there's a lot of stuff. I like Joel going back to construction, dude. I thought was a little amusing,
Oh my
but
God. Yes.
yeah,
Oh, I
because he was
forgot. He was a
yeah,
construction worker.
yeah, because Joel's a construction worker. Joel was a construction worker. That he's back to being a foreman in construction. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. At the end of the world, some guys are going to know how to rebuild a circuit breaker. A circuit breaker. Some guys are not.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that kind of sort of domestic housekeeping stuff was cool, but I just kept getting distracted by how much of a jerk Ellie was. I
Mhm.
mean, which is I think an important thing to be in this season, but it was kind of like Joel seemed kind of like a man unwilling to confront a truth.
Mhm.
He got called out by an authority no less than the wife of a man he shot because he needed to. She told him the truth, and like that maybe the premise of this season is do people have to have the courage to confront the realities of their lives?
Mhm.
Maybe that'll be a premise. So yeah, I'm with you. 7 out of 10 clickers on this one. Loved the idea of intelligent cordyceps. Loved the how just fun Dina was. Loved the Catherine O'Hara character. Um, yeah, I'm looking
Okay.
forward to more stuff. Really
Oh,
looking forward to more stuff.
all right. Well, I hope you're looking forward to Mo puns
Oh
because
my
I
God,
got
this is the only reason I'm doing this.
three for
Okay.
you, not including Dina's pun, which I'm sure I'm going to butcher because I don't think I caught it as well as I needed to. Anyways, but what I did do is I did catch some fog earlier, or I tried to at least. I missed. There we go. If
God
you're
damn it. God
listening to this, you
damn
can't
it.
see his reaction, but it is beautiful.
That works so good.
No, it's so good.
Fuck. Oh, there goes my light. No. Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Two more.
Oh yeah.
I walked into my sister's room and I tried on, or and I tripped on her bra. It was a booby trap. Okay. Yeah. I give that one maybe like 2 out of 10 clickers. That one's not my favorite.
Okay. I will give that 3 out of.
This one might sound familiar to you. Why did the scarecrow get an award? He was outstanding in his field.
That's from the game.
It is from the game.
This
I'm
is
so
from
proud
the
of
game.
you.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And then,
Hell yeah.
and we're going to close it out with Dina's because I was not expecting to get a pun this early, but we did it. What do you call a bear eating ribs?
What's that?
Barbecue.
It was so good.
I know. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, please tell me we're getting at least one every episode. Because if not, they're getting 5 clickers out of 10 clickers.
Wouldn't it be just wild if, because one of the things The Last of Us had definitely done in the last season was that they sort of rewrote how some of the characters, their arcs stay the same. But what if something truly bad happens to Dina, like they're making us fall in love with her simply to snatch her away?
I don't think they're going to do that. They got to keep Dina till the end.
But you know what? Maybe this is what it is they're making her so nice and so lovable and someone who kind of roots for everyone around her. It makes it even more impossible for Ellie to walk away from her, and she fucking does it anyway. That's the challenge. That's the challenge of this season of The Last of Us. They have to make Ellie not just be arrogant, not just be flippant, not just be an elite.
We gotta
person in
hate
the
her.
apocalypse. Yeah, because ultimately, when I saw the first dog in the episode, I'm like, oh God, too soon. Leave the dogs out of this. Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, but they deserved it. No, I'm just kidding. They did not.
Yeah. Fuck them dogs. Fuck them dogs.
Oh man, I can't wait for next week's episode. Fitz, thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're gonna do our best to crank these things out within, by every Sunday night, Monday morning. You will have another episode of Fitz and Friends, the Fitz and Mo bonus show where we recap The Last of Us Part 2. If you want to reach out to us, you can check out the show is on YouTube in addition to being on Spotify. And you can email Mo at
mo@altaz933.com.
And you can email me, fitz@fitzmadrid.com. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we will see you guys next week. Oh, be sure to like, share, and subscribe because...
Look at you.
Yeah,
hitting those keynotes.
Yeah. I'm like... You got this little script. You're like, be sure to tell them to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm like, yeah, you guys should like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on social media, and we would love to hear from you. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Say goodbye, everybody.